Alright, and welcome to this video, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I, myself, make a streamlined inventory system without the use of scripts. Now, ask yourself, why would you want an inventory system without scripts? Because convenience, that's pretty much it. I like the idea of putting things in a single cargo container and then forgetting about them and then going to another cargo container, and all my stuff from bottles, guns, ammo, components, even ingots and ores are all completely separated into various cargo containers. So in today's video I'm going to show you how I do it using just the vanilla blocks. Little disclaimer, this world I have has mods involved, so there will be some things that you'll probably spot that you'll probably just best ignore, right? And a little bit of housekeeping as well, a wee like and subscribe for later would be a great thing, and if any comments, suggestions for other videos or things you'd like to know or things that maybe you're not sure about, drop them below and I'll get to them. Alright, so let's go on with this now. So first things first, I'm going to want a cargo container. This will be the input cargo container, and maybe a connector of some sort, or even maybe like a collector device which is like below, and this will be the input, so everything's going in here. Now this cargo container may also be used as a storage for ores, so right now we'll place a sorter here, and then I'll place the refinery. That's a wrong little block there, let's change that, so ref, and we'll get one of the newer looking ones and just pop this in here. There we go. Right, so the plan is ore would come in here, so you would have like a ship dock there, or you would just simply place them in yourself. It would sit in this cargo container, and then this sorter will allow the ores to travel to the refinery. Now the next step is going to be another sorter block here, which will then allow only ingots to travel through to here, which is where my assembler would be placed, as such, like so. And then we get another one here, which will only allow the things produced by the assembler to come out into the final, what is it, cargo box. There we go. As such, right? However, although this is pretty streamlined, straight line, and that's it, well, what happens if you happen to, say, have a welding ship and you dock it here? Well, all the components would sit in this cargo container and go nowhere. That's why we put in a bypass. That's the next part that we're going to work on. So first of all, I will get conveyors set up. There we go. So I'll get a conveyor junction here and a conveyor junction here. Now, why two? I'll show you in a sec. Now we'll connect a go reinforce this time, so this one here and this one here, and that will just connect these two. Now back to the sorters, so place a sorter here and I'll place a sorter here. So say for example we have a O2 generator, and we'll place that in a straight line because conveyor ports are both facing that way. So what we're going to want is that when anything like ice, for example, is deposited here, it will remain in this cargo container, it will not go through the refineries and won't block anything, and it will come along here. It will not go along there because this sorter we will set to say something else. We'll come to that in a sec. It will come along here, and then this sorter will say yes, ice in here, and then the O2 refinery will then start, you know, breaking it down in its parts. So say refinery generator, but you know what I meant, right? So this one will then lead to cargo container here, and I'll put a cargo container there, right? That won't be a cargo container. This will be some kind of, let's say, hydrogen tank, right? We'll place this here because that's where we'll end up with all that stuff. And then I'll get my conveyors again, and then just pop this on. Right, and then the same here, and that's all good to go. Now I'm going to turn on my builder units. Like I said, I have a few mods involved, and I have little building helpers, these little machines here, and they, hopefully, if in range, yep, there we go, and they'll just start helping me build this on the subgrid that I've got placed here. Now, I want this one built first, come on. I might be able to help with that by getting a few components for this sorters. There we go. Oh, nicely done anyway. There we go. Right, so this is the first sorter going into the refinery. So what we'll do is we'll go in here and then we'll rename it ore only. And then we'll head down to the bottom and then we'll use this function here. And then what we will look for is ore and add that to the whitelist only. If I remember right, blacklist means no-go, whitelist means only that item. So whatever is in the active filters, only that item will be allowed to travel through. And then that should be it. Hopefully ice is not included in the catch-all terms, so what I would normally do is I would go down the list and I would pick out each of the ores that I know exist. For example, if we go here, cobalt ore, I would add that to the list and only cobalt ore. But in the short term we'll add stone as well, because stone is considered still an ore and the refinery will still want to use it. So I'll add stone as well. So only stone and cobalt right now in this setup will go through. You will be able to add the ores yourself later, right? Now let's move on to the next one. So here we have this one. So this will be ingots. Normally I would have also a cargo container sitting here as well to store all the ingots, but I've just kind of skipped that in the short term to go straight to the assembler. And we'll go down here and we will search for ingots, and we will also need to place gravel as well, because for some reason it just is counted separately and I don't know why. I don't know if it's the same for you, but it seems to be for me. So add gravel as well, and then we'll just whitelist that. Don't put drain all on. You don't need to drain all. You can drain all if you've got a suitable cargo container waiting for the items, but it's not entirely necessary. But it could be useful, because if you've got, say, a cargo container where the assembler would be and your refinery is full, its entire capacity is full, and you've got more ore coming in, then you would hit the drain all and it would go into the next cargo container. Right? Are you with me so far? Good, 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 good. And now the final one, this is going to be comps. Oh, I forgot to spell better. Comps and extra. And that's there we go, extra, right? And we'll just come down here, and this would be things like your components, your hand tools, bottles, etc. All those things will just start to flow through, and we'll whitelist this as well. This one you could probably put the drain all on as well, to be absolutely sure that it will happen. So that should be that setup, but we can't fully do that right now. No, oh, right, a little, just to double check, right? So this sorter will only transfer the bottles and hand tools and things that the assembler has created, not things that you've placed in the primary chest or here. If you put like your stuff in here and you just put everything in, you don't want it to travel through this line, so that's why there's blocks placed all the way along, so it will not travel through. That's where the next line comes in. So what do? We come around here, we access this one, and we'll just say everything else, and we'll head down, and then we'll go to the top and we'll say hand tools, components and ammo, things like that. And then we'll whitelist and drain all, because we don't want them staying in the primary cargo container, because that will be like ore storage. So if we put like guns and things in here, or tools, bottles, they'll come along here and shoot along this way into that cargo container. This one we'll need to set up for ice. Ice is always good to have separated, because ice it just blocks everything a lot of the time. So put ice, and we'll head down, find the ice for the filter, add that there, whitelist it, and then that should be good to go. That should be it, and that's just the basics of it as well. Obviously if you're building your own, you'll add more things to the filter list and all different parts. And as you saw with mine, I've got a lot of modded blocks and a lot of modded components. So let's see if I've done this right. So we'll jump over and we'll get a wee quick test run and just empty my stuff. Right, empty, right. So I'll say I'll grab 100 of them. I'll grab a bottle as well, I think. Grab an O2 bottle and these things. Right, I don't know if I've ice actually? Is there ice available? Nope, I'm all out. I could go downstairs and grab some. It's going to be noisy if I turn that on. As will this one as well, actually. And I can't grab it in time. Well, actually, that's not true. I can grab it. I can just do that. Right. Let's see. On. Cover your ears. Oh, wait, I've disconnected it for the grid. Right. And that won't go anywhere. Ah, never mind. I'll just... There we go. A wee bit there. That'll do. Let's not wreck any more of the ice. And let's shoot across and see if this has worked. Should I maybe jump over there and get a wee bit of stone as well? Aye, let's do that. I normally would have had my truck under there fully loaded with stone ready to go, but I was busy. Right, let's grab a wee bit here for the top of the fringe. There we go, and let's check inventory. There you go, wee bit of stone, wee bit of ice. That should be good to test the system, see if it works. You never need too much to test a system, but we'll manage. And we come. Now this looks messy, right? And it is messy, but it's an example. It's a flat 2D example. Now let's see. We'll place everything in here, and let's hope it worked. Oh, I heard the noise for the refinery. Did it work? Let's see. No, nothing will be in here yet, but we need to check. Yep, components, tools, all of it made it in here. Did this work? Yep, so the ice that I gathered has been converted. You can see here on the bottom right has been converted by the O2 generator, which means the ice filtered appropriately to the correct location. Yep, it did. I just spotted it there as it disappeared. Now let's see. I will use this one first. And I'll call up the full inventory. Let's see. So the connector still has the bottles. Don't think I added them to the list, but that's easily fixed. The refinery has the metal parts. So let's see if I can manually move them. So I'll click assembler here. Let's see if I can move this ingot to the assembler. Yep. And now let's see if I can move it to this cargo container. Nope. See, it's blacked out, which means the sorters are working perfectly fine. They will not allow any materials that it doesn't want in those locations. So that's it fixed. That's it done. Except, let's fix that a wee bit with the bottles first. Let's see if I can figure that one out, because they should still be in here, right? Yeah, they're still in there. So it would be this sorter here. Where's the panel? Yep, I didn't add bottles to it. Right. So let's go down. Let's see. Where's the hydrogen bottles? Hydrogen bottle add, and that would be oxygen next. Oxygen bottle add. Right. Are they still there? Nope. Which means they should be down here. And there we go. See? And that's it. And that's how you get essentially a fully contained inventory sorting system. All you would do is layer it up for yourself. You would add different cargo containers. You would add different lines and piping to make sure it all works. And you can also refine that and compress it further. And I'll show you an example in just a sec. But this is just the basic design of how it would go. It takes up very little space, can be done very early on, and you never need to worry about a thing. And I'll give you the big example. So painted in white, the whole thing here is what I call my great machine. And the example I give is this. So right at the beginning here is my input. This is my connector where everything goes in, but you'll see pipes are going down below, because if I just sneak under here, these pipes come down and are connected to my drop-off point. So if I was out driving about with my truck, pick up stone, ores, whatever I find, I can then deposit it in here, and that'll sling straight up there into that car container. It's also connected under the railway tracks to here as well, so when the trains come along, drop off ores, they all go across and shoot straight up into the first container. And then, as you can see, I've got a sorter here and I've got sorters there. Now the first one takes only stone up, and I use basic refineries only for stone. And then of course this comes out into here and down for ingots, which has a bypass going along the bottom. This one comes along here and then transfers the ingots into the ores into these refineries, all 8 refineries. I also have a bypass at the top which comes through for ice, which will shoot along the middle and then into O2 generators, which will then come straight across here and then feed O2 and hydrogen cells along the top. I then have another bypass for a modded block, a gravel sifter, but I haven't used it yet because I don't have enough gravel. And I have another sorter under here with various bits stuffed into the spaces underneath, which will then transfer the ingots from here into this cargo container. And what I'll do is I'll actually, you know what, I'll give you a peek inside. So you can hear the refineries are running because I've just recently done a drop off from my train. And there we go. See, I've also named it. Now I have got a script running on this world for this machine, but it doesn't actually interfere with my sorter setup. What it does is it just essentially gives me the digital LCD displays, and that's what I use it for primarily. But as you can see here in this one, the ore cargo container is filled with ores, and they are just waiting for space in the refineries as they continue to work. And I'll give you an example here. See, they're completely filled. These refineries are completely filled with ore, and they're just working away doing their thing. And when they're eventually finished, now we'll get to this cargo container here. I'll just get a wee space here. Look in here. All my ingots are filling up nicely in here. All of them. Every ingot I have, but no ice. Well, I don't have any ice in the system, but they would be essentially up here in these smaller cargo boxes here. Now, what happens when the assemblers? Now, I have all these assemblers here. Once they are done, pardon me, the red one is the what I call the assembler prime, the fabricator general. It's the primary assembler. All the rest are set to cooperative mode, so whenever I go into any part of the system, this is the one that will be needed. So whenever this has a production, which I've got queued up here, it will pull what it needs from that cargo container straight through, and that's it. There will be no build up of components, no build up of anything. Why? Because tucked right in there is the other bypass. It will pull everything with the sorter attached to it from all of these assemblers straight into this cargo container, and this is the last stop. This is where all my components are and all filling up, and that's pretty much it. Of course, I have a few side cargo containers here for my tools, bottles, and around here ammo, and a second ammo, but that's unused at the moment, and that is primarily because I used the script to just filter only those parts later, but you could just as easily add a couple of more sorter blocks and then you're done, dusted, that's it, finished. And that's me. That's how my great machine works. That's how it all is streamlined. It goes in a straight line from left to right, and that's it, all it's done. And there's also even a cryo chamber and a medical station. This medical station will also fill up my hydrogen because it is attached at the top via these pipes that lead to the hydrogen tanks there as well above. As long as your conveyor ports are not touching other parts of the system, you can keep that going and keep streamlined. No, like a railway track. You know, you're going from point A to point B, so you put the ore in there, you want a component, well, it'll filter it, work its way through the system and pop out the other end. Yeah, we don't have like conveyor belts and things where you can see them like moving along or anything like that. That would be great if you could, but you know, I have plans for that as well, and I have got a prototype on the go. But anyway, that's how it all goes. Pretty soon I'll hopefully get this ship off the ground as well, and hopefully this has been informative for you and you've managed to track what I've done and follow through with how I managed to put this all together, and you yourself will be able to do that. Any questions, leave it in the comments, and like I asked before, if you could please leave a wee like and a subscribe would also be great. Thanks very much, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.